Neon lights, they're cutting through the night. City streets, they call out to the fight. A skyline homes alive, never still. Chasing dreams, we run against the thrill. Young hearts in a glow, in a pulse of the street. We rise, we fall, where the shadows meet. Underneath the lights, we're the ones they'll talk about. Young, wild and free, let it all scream out.
What's up, jerks? Welcome back this afternoon. It's raining out. Testimony's been tough the first 2 days of this Clancy trial. Really difficult. The 911 call, they did not play today. Apparently, Bob Ward from Boston 25, who's been covering true crime and missing persons for decades, been to a lot of trials. I bet hundreds, if not thousands, of trials. He said this was the most disturbing, most difficult moment for him. Let's quote him. I actually have the quote here. Here's what he said. I'm glad they took a break. I am feeling it right now. Truly one of the worst things I have heard. He's talking about the 911 call in my 43 years of reporting. So this guy, Bob Ward, he's been doing this true crime beat and just general reporting for 43 years. Bob Ward from Boston 25 News today. He said it was the most difficult, one of the worst things I've heard in my 43 years of reporting. And Lindsay Clancy was bawling, was absolutely bawling. Some people thought it was fake. I didn't feel like it was fake at all. And the poor husband, man, I wish they would come up with some type of plea deal on this, honestly. This is like painful to watch. People have their feelings about it. I have a lot of sympathy for that family. I do. It's hard to stream. There was also an incident outside the courtroom in the court hallway. And again, here I am. I'm taking the... It's funny how a lot of people say I don't support the First Amendment, when recently I've supported, this is the second time I've stood up and defended a journalist. Number one was Gretchen Voss. May have been some reporting issues in the story that, they corrected, which was fine. That's journalism. It may have been slanted, but I defend her right to tell that story, to tell it, with her reporting. I totally do defend it, even if I don't agree with it. And the same thing today with another, call him reporter from Surviving the Survivor Show. This guy was doing a remote broadcast, a stream from the hallway of the courthouse, which is not permitted, not allowable. However, I have a lot of issues with the way the courthouses are run on this, because I've been to many trials now. I've been to courthouses in Massachusetts quite a bit. And I do see people taking photographs. I do see people taking video. And mostly when I see it, I recognize that the people that are taking photos or taking video, they're not aware that they're not allowed to film in the hallways. And I think it's a big problem in our courthouses because they really don't alert people. They don't let you know. And I'll just go by my example. How many times have I been to the courthouse and people have seen me in the courthouse? I always have that iPhone camera gimbal thing. I always bring it with me through the security guards, through the metal detectors. They look at all my stuff. They look at my phone. They look at my gimbal. They look at my belt, right? They make me take off my hat, my glasses. They look at everything, my keys. The security guys. And only one time has a security guard looked at my camera gimbal my iPhone camera gimbal and said, "Hey, just to let you know, you're not allowed to record anywhere in the building. You are aware of that, right?" And I said, "Yes, yeah. This is for after outside." He says, "Okay, go ahead. Have a great day. I just want to make sure you're aware of that." Only one security guard has ever informed me. The way things are today, especially with this case, with so many out of towners coming in, and people aren't aware of the court rules and how old media knew the rules. A lot of the new media doesn't know the rules. A lot of the new media, this is the first time maybe in a Massachusetts court where it's not allowed. They should be notified. There should be signs everywhere, and there aren't. There may be one sign on the way in that most people, walk right by, don't maybe glance up on it. I think most people just assume you can't film inside the courtroom, but the court hallway is fine. I've seen a lot of selfies, and this poor guy, he's streaming. He obviously has no awareness, and a lot of people on the internet, are like, he should have known better. He should have known. Yeah, he probably should have known. He probably should have. But you know what? Human beings are human beings. We do dumb things, and sometimes we do dumb things without even realizing it. Sometimes we have brain farts. Sometimes we have a little onset, I don't know, a little dementia about something. We just sometimes we're just the muscle memory too. Like apparently this guy, this reporter for surviving the survivor has mostly covered Florida, apparently in Florida courts, and they do allow you to film in the hallway. So he was probably on autopilot. Yeah, you ever drive by your exit where you're trying to drive because you usually go straight? You ever do that? It's muscle memory. You're on autopilot. This dude was probably on autopilot, never even thought of it. And not only did they shut him down, which is fine, but then they kicked him out. And it's just like, you know what? Like, this guy came up probably from Florida or somewhere else, and you're going to kick him out now? Come on. Just give him a warning and let it go. And recognize the fact that the courts need to inform people. They need to make it very clear to people on the way in. You cannot film. And especially if they look like they're new media, especially if they look like they're not Channel 5, 4, 7, if they're not mainstream media, if they're a guy like me with an iPhone camera gimbal, I'm obviously some type of social media or influencer or YouTuber or new media guy if I'm carrying that. And the fact you're never notifying people walking in with that type of equipment that you can't film in the hallway, that's a problem. They should do better. The courts, to me, could do a lot better in informing the public on what's appropriate and what's not without being all nasty about it. And they embarrass this guy, and everyone on social media is piling on him, and I feel bad. I don't think it's right, and I don't think the guy was being a punk. It'd be different if he was like one of these auditors or some shit, and he's like, I'm not shutting it down, I have a right. If he'd done that shit, if he'd been a punk, I'd feel differently. But this guy wasn't being a punk. He just didn't know. He just didn't know. So, and it bothers me online too. I see people, they automatically take the favor of the court over this guy. If this guy had known, he wants to comply. He wants to report. He wants to give the info to his audience. And the court just took it away. The court just took it away. And a lot of you support that and say, oh, he's an idiot. He's a dumbass. What about the courts? Are the courts being dumbasses? Why don't you mention that the courts are being dumbasses by not alerting people on the way in, by not having signs everywhere, by the judge not saying it at every moment? He said it today at the end, didn't he? He said it. A little too late, Judge. You should be saying that at every break, especially with this trial, with so many out-of-state people here for it. This is a big national audience. And on a day where it's pouring raining outside, like, you knew this was probably going to happen today. What did you do to alert people, prepare them? I feel bad for him. Let's watch this. You can tell he didn't know. This Timothy Jansen. He did not know, and people are now piling on him like he's a jerk, like he's an asshole. So one person said, well, when you're at Fenway Park, you're not supposed to streak across the field. He didn't streak across the field. He wasn't in the courtroom. There's nobody behind him. He's in the concourse. He's away from everybody.
They were showing him going to the CVS, showing him going into the restaurant, picking the food up, and the mess.
Sir, that's off. You're in the courthouse.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I can't.
You're in violation.
Look how quickly he complied.
That is
That is
Tim
not
being
a
told,
jerk. That is a good guy. He complied so quickly. It was like that thing was off. Like he was not being a jerk. He had no idea. That's the court's fault. That's the court's fault. If you're going to blame this guy, blame the court just as much, please. Ask the court to do more. You don't see the federal government. They don't allow cameras in the courtroom. Or they don't allow any pictures in the hallways. They don't allow any video in the hall. You never see this happen. They actually usually take your phones. They don't allow you to bring the phones in. That's how strict they are. I think there's an in-between space for it. I think basically they should just make you sign. I'm not. I'm aware. I'm aware that I'm not to film anywhere in the courthouse. How simple is that? On the way in. But instead, they set this guy up and make us all look like jerks and like, stop it. Stop it. That guy had no clue. He didn't do it on purpose. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it states it somewhere online, Chick Eastwater. I'm sure it does. But are you going to spend a half hour looking for it? Go ahead. Go spend the time. Go look for, because you know what? Those websites suck. Like the websites are brutal. I don't know if you've checked out the court websites, but they're fucking brutal. Getting information from these websites, it's just funny because I am an approved journalist with the Massachusetts, court system. I know the rules. I follow the rules. But at the same time, they never really informed me of the rules. When I applied, they didn't say, "Hey, here's the rules." They didn't send me anything after I got approved. They didn't say, "Hey, here's a reminder." It's funny. Like they just expect everyone to know the rules. It's like you got to do more. The system is just so crooked. It's so shady. I feel bad for him. I don't think it's right. And I don't like the pile-on. I see the pile-on going on. Like he's an idiot. He's not an idiot. He made a mistake. He made a human friggin' mistake. He thought he could do it. He didn't know. He's probably on autopilot. He probably thought he still was in Florida, for Christ's sakes. He probably didn't realize that Massachusetts, the liberal state that's supposed to be very progressive and transparent, has less transparency and less progressiveness than the state of Florida, which is right. The state of Florida lets you do it, but not the state of
They
Mass.
were showing
Watch
him
this
going
again.
to the CVS, showing him going into the restaurant, picking the food up, and the mess.
Sir, that's off. You're in a courthouse.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I can't.
You're in violation.
We're in a Massachusetts courthouse where we don't tell you the rules up front, but then we get mad at you when you don't follow the rules. This guy was trying to comply. He turned it off immediately. He had no pushback, and they still removed him from the courthouse. Is he going to be banned? Is he not going to be able to cover anymore? I don't know. I just think that's awful. I don't like it. And I don't think the courts hold themselves accountable. They could be doing a lot more to stop this from happening. But everyone wants to blame Timothy Jansen, the journalist who's just trying to serve the public. I'm pro-journalism. Guy did nothing. He wasn't causing a scene. He wasn't harassing anybody. He wasn't filming a witness. Like, why are people mad at him on social media? Yeah, I heard he's a really nice guy, too. So, defend the journalism, please. If you haven't noticed, they don't like us. They don't like us in the courthouses. They don't. They don't like us there. I guarantee you, behind the scenes, they're all laughing their asses off and calling us a bunch of a-holes, too. You know? They try to control us. It's totally true. Yeah, he was in Florida where he was allowed to do that. And it's raining out today on top of it. And they knew, this courthouse knew that there were going to be a ton of new people here, that this is probably the first time in a Massachusetts courtroom. Because this is high profile. This is nationally televised. You know? Scott says, I've been angry with Joel since his Karen Reed is guilty for 2.5 years. I get it. But it wasn't Joel that did it. I feel bad for the guy, who's holding the bag. And I'm sure Joel might regret that. I don't know. People can feel how they want to. You can feel how you want to. He can feel how he wants to. I'm just defending the journalist. I feel like he didn't get informed, and they're acting like he did something wrong. It's like the courts have they need, if they want to enforce rules, the government, if they want to enforce laws, they have to inform people of what the laws are. They just need to do that. They need to at least, like, it's like, it would be like if all of a sudden they're giving speeding tickets in your town, but there's no speed limit signs anywhere on the roads. Like, maybe put some speed limit signs up if you want to enforce the speeding laws. That's all I'm saying. Because if there's no speeding signs, people are just going to assume they know what the speed limit is, right? Yeah, and this is it. And this is what's pissing me off. People that watch court feeds and love this shit, you're feeding into your own demise. Like, Pure Duckery nails it. They're doing it so they could say there was a problem and stop showing cases over Zoom or other live feeds. Exactly. This is the game that the mass courts play. It's just like that. There was an idiot the other day, and this person was an idiot. Whoever was on the Zoom that was talking on the last Karen Reed, I think it was it the criminal or the civil? I can't even remember now. Someone was on the Zoom, two people actually, talking on the Zoom, and then they shut down the Zoom. You remember that? Now that was idiotic. Whoever did that was an idiot. But at the same time, again, another example of the courts. They're so controlling of what we do, but they don't even take the basics to friggin' control your Zoom. All they have to do is mute people on the Zoom. If you're not a party to this case, you're muted. How hard is that to do? It's not very difficult. It's not difficult. And if you see someone who's unmuted and keeps unmuting themselves, remove them from the Zoom. How hard is that? This isn't rocket science. Like, it's almost like they're setting us up. So we have to demand that the courts, who have all these stupid rules, that they actually do their part. That they learn how to mute their Zoom. That they put up some signs, that they inform people on the way in. You can't film in the hallways or anywhere in the courthouse. Especially if it looks like you're a new media person. If you got cameras and you don't have one of those, big NBC Boston cameras, if you got a little cell phone camera with a gimbal, they should let them know. Because those are obviously new reporters, and a lot of them are from out of town. The double standard. It's like they expect the utmost professionalism from a bunch of YouTubers, but the courts, they don't have to try at all. They can just pretend it's 1985. That's what they do. These courts act like it's still 1985. That's their mindset. Like, we don't have to change anything. This is how we did it in 1985. That's how they act over there. If you go into the courts, that's how they act. They act like it's still 1985. Yeah, this whole thing too, Scotty. This frustrates the hell out of me. They play games with all this media pool stuff too, about who's allowed to film and who's in and who's out, and it's so frustrating. It's so annoying. And half the time when I call the court, I'll say, "Hey, are we able to stream this or Zoom it today?" And they'll be like, "No Zoom, no stream." And then all of a sudden NBC shows up and they're streaming it. Or they say, "Oh, yeah, we don't care. You can stream it." And then you find out they said, "Oh, no, you can't stream it. You can only record it." And then people on the audience are accusing you of effing with the courts. And like, this is the stuff we all deal with. We call the courts, they tell us one thing, and then they change their mind. And they don't call us back. And I'm on a list. And I'm asking them, when I call, I'm saying, "I am Mike Crawford. I'm an approved media. You have my info." If they don't call me back, they won't let me know what's going on. Like, the whole thing is a scam. It's all about control. It's all about, like, we want to see if you break the rules, and when you're on our bad side, then we're going to penalize you. Enough. I'm just tired of it. No, Joel is a host of the show. So basically, this happened on a show called Surviving the Survivor. Joel is the host. He's the host of that show, and it was his correspondent. So his correspondent, who goes to a lot of the court cases, the court trials, especially in Florida, he's the one who was in the courtroom. Joel was talking to him. We'll play it again. Where is it? I'll remove the. Hold on. Stop the screen. You'll see. I think I already played it, but we'll play it one more time. So that's Joel on the left. He's the host. So let's start it. This is what happened.
Picking the food up and the mess.
Sir, that's off.
So Tim's the correspondent. Tim's in the courthouse in Massachusetts. Joel is I think in another state. Not sure where he's out of. Maybe New York, I think.
Off. You're in the courthouse.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I can't.
You're in violation.
See how quickly he shut that down, though? He was not trying to be a punk. He wasn't trying to break the rules.
That is Tim being told. I don't think Tim knew that, by the way, but that
He
interview
definitely
with
didn't
Tim
know
just
that.
ended
You can tell.
quickly, and I don't think Tim realized he cannot be there. I guess he has to be outside.
All right. So that happened today. Of course, they're going to blame the journalist over blaming the court. Don't feed into that. Don't feed into that narrative. Support the journalist. That guy was not trying to be a punk. It'd be different if he was knowingly breaking the rules, and no, they kicked him out. He's not allowed in. I don't know if that's going to be the rest of the trial, but that's the reporting I'm hearing, is that he was kicked out of the courtroom. Yeah, he's a lawyer. There you go. You think a lawyer is going to try to break the rules? A friggin' lawyer from Florida didn't know. Think about that. How's the average joker supposed to know? Like, if a lawyer from Florida didn't realize that he was breaking the rules, how the hell do you think somebody who's an average Joe Slob coming in as a YouTuber is going to know? They need to do a lot more to inform the public if they want to enforce it. Especially knowing so many eyeballs are watching, and now this guy's being slimed on social media. People are acting like he did some horrible thing. That sucks. I don't think it's fair. That's why I'm saying something. And some people are like, you're an idiot. This is why we can't have nice things. Shut up. Shut up. Dude, shut it down quickly. He wasn't in the courtroom. He wasn't streaking the field. He wasn't trying to say, I got my First Amendment rights. I'm not shutting this down. Call it. He didn't do any of that. He said, oh, shit, and shut it down. He didn't know. I know. I mean, that's the thing. I'm surprised they didn't try to arrest him. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Tim Connolly from Canton Community Television talks to us all the time about how messed up all this is in mass courts, plus judges can change the rules on the fly too. I know. It's infuriating. I mean, Scotty, you know, man, I'm trying to comply everything I can, but at a certain point I just throw up my hands and say, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. How many times do I have to freaking call these courts to get permission? And then they change it. It's just like, it's so friggin' annoying. I waste so much time calling these courtrooms, and then they're friggin' rude. And I'm wicked nice. I'm like, yes, please, no, please, thank you so much. Some of them are nice, but some of these clerks are really just, they want me off the phone as soon as they can. And I'm just like, hey, can you find out if do we have permission to stream this live? Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. Why don't you call back later and get the same non-response? I don't even know if there'll be a Zoom. Like, some of them are very nice. So that's the thing. About 50% of the time you call, you get someone really nice that will go out of their way and give you the Zoom. They'll get you the info. But then half the time, it's that. It's. I don't care. I don't know. I'm not going to find out. Do what you want. That's what we're dealing with in these courtrooms. And people want to say that the journalists are the problem. Like, no, we're not the problem. I'm sorry. That guy did nothing wrong today. He made a mistake. You ever make a mistake at your job? That's not important. That's not a big. I mean, it's a very minor mistake. He gave someone a Danish for $2, and the Danish should have been priced at $2.50. Nobody cares. Move on. You know. I know that's the thing. It's a control thing. It's a control thing. And honestly, I don't think I'm not even upset that they don't allow any streaming from the hallway. That's fine. Like, I get it. I have no issue with that. My issue is that people don't know what the rules are, and then they get yelled at, and then they get kicked out, and they look like social media pariahs. Like, let people know what the rules are on the way in. You make us go through metal detectors. You got one or two, three, sometimes three security guards with wands and the metal detector, and they're looking at this, they're looking at that. How hard is it just to say to everyone that walks in, do you know the rules about recording? Are you going to be recording today? Michael, see, there's a guy who's there all the time. Michelle Bryant was live in the outer lobby outside of security in Plymouth on a live. He got bounced to the outside the courthouse too. LOL. I mean, there's a guy who's there all the time. I mean, this is what it is. It's so arbitrary. Sometimes they'll allow you to do. I bet the reason he did that today is because he's been allowed to do it at other times, right? So, and it's raining out today. Yeah, that's the thing. Sam is Googling random states. Mass, New York, Illinois, California all prohibit cameras, recording devices, and photographer in public hallways, lobbies, etc. But not all courts do. Florida doesn't, apparently. You know what's funny too is if you look, you'll find a picture of me, a group photo of us at one of the earliest Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearings in the hallway at a courtroom, no signs up. I didn't take that photo. Somebody else did. And I know all of us, every single one of us, had no clue. We had no clue when we were there that you couldn't even take a photograph in the hallway. Like, I get, like, for me, I just assumed there was no video, but a photo, I didn't think it didn't even cross my mind. I wasn't the one taking the photo, so keep that in mind. But it just didn't occur to me. And that's the thing. Once you see someone take a photo like that and it's a group of people, you assume somebody in the group must, you just assume that everyone, it must be okay. You know what I mean? Like when you see a group of people doing something, you're not going to be the one that says, "Hey, I'm not sure that's allowed. Can we stop?" Because you usually figure if you say that, someone's going to say, "Hey, actually, we checked. It's okay. You're a jackass. Shut up." Right? That's why I didn't say anything. I wasn't even thinking it, honestly. But maybe this reporter today saw somebody else streaming or taking photographs and thought, well, if they're doing it, it must be okay. Right? I mean, that's the thing. That's the problem with all of this. Yeah, Scott says, well, Michelle was trying to stay out of the rain. He technically is not inside the courthouse in that outer vestibule. Sort of dumb to kick him outside. There you go. Yeah, signage at the doors, at every door. I mean, they should have signage everywhere. If you really want to enforce this, you have to, because most of us, we just tune out signs. I mean, I don't know about you, but I walk by signs every day that I just don't read. Right? And that's why I think if you have security guards and they have metal detectors, why aren't the security guards instructed to say something to people? especially knowing they're going through your items. They know which people have phones on them, who has cameras, who's got the selfie sticks. It's pretty easy for them to figure out who might be the people that might be, recording things in the hallway, especially with new media. You know who we are because we got memory cards, we got, like I said, selfie sticks, we got multiple cameras, we got multiple phones. You know who the new media journalists are. I mean, they know who they are. They see them coming in. They put them through a metal detector. That's why the one guy that actually did his job, the one security guard, he should get a raise because he noted right away. He's like, "What's this?" He grabbed my gimbal. I said, "Oh, it's for recording outside after. I'm a journalist." He said, "Oh, you know that you can't record in the hallways or the courtroom, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Good. Have a great day." Like that's exactly what they should be doing to everybody. That one security guard, he's the only guy that has ever done that to me. Everyone else, and I was a little annoyed because I already knew the rules at that point. That's probably why they don't do it. It's a little annoying, but at the same time, he should be doing that. We're waiting to see what happens in court. It's supposed to start back up at 2 p.m. I don't know. We're still waiting. There hasn't been much testimony today. This has been a rough day. I like this one. Live streaming can be a little dangerous in courtway hallway. Most people going to court, not good reasons. I know, right? I mean, that's the other risk you have doing that there. Even outside. I mean, we had one guy show up who was, you probably see some of the streams. He was really amped up that one day with all the conspiracies. Yeah, he was just, yeah, that's the thing. He did not have bad intentions, and he just didn't know. That's my issue. The rules need to be posted. They need to be very clear, and they need. I believe the security guard should have much more of a role in that. The feds, they don't allow filming in courthouses. They don't have any issues. You're never going to see what happened today happen with the feds. They basically don't even allow phones in at all. I don't think you need to get that extreme. I think you just have to make sure that everyone is notified as they come in. We're still waiting to see what happens in court right now. Um, what I want to do is see if there's any updates happening because it could get delayed again. I mean, this is today has been a wild day over there. All right, the jury has been brought back in, I'm hearing. So, reporting from Jessica Machado, she said Judge Sullivan explains that Patrick Clancy has been brought back in. Oh, God, for cross examination. There was some thought that he wasn't going to be cross examined. They let him go, but apparently, there's also some talk that maybe he had some type of mental health issue. Ah, man, they're going to bring him back on the stand. Holy shit. We're about to watch him back on the stand, people. All right, let's check it out. Maybe I'm behind a few seconds. Yeah. All right. Let's catch up. I think we're behind actually. I didn't realize I didn't have the play button. All right, let's go. We'll catch up. Come on. All right, I'm gonna get on the off the screen. We're gonna catch this up, and I'll be back maybe.
Court, all rise. Jurors entering. This court's now in session. Please be seated.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, we return back to the trial of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. All parties are present, including the defendant and including the 18 jurors.
All right. Well, members of the jury, thank you for your patience with us. What we're now going to do at this point is we're going to return to the evidence. We have witness Patrick Clancy, who testified earlier, is now being recalled, as I said, for the purpose of cross-examination. Okay? All right, counsel?
Afternoon, Mr. Clancy. You and I have certainly met before, correct?
Correct.
Would you agree with me that I went with you and your brothers, maybe some other people, into your home very shortly after the state police finished with searching and removing what they felt was evidence from the home?
Yes.
And you recall that went into different rooms and looked at different things, and I think I took some photographs and things of that nature. You remember that?
Yeah.
So, if I may, you met Lindsay back when she was in school, or was she working as a nurse?
She was at the MGH Institute.
And the MGH Institute is like Mass General Hospital nursing program, correct?
Correct.
She had some kind of like an accelerated course or something?
Yeah.
Had double major?
Yeah.
Was a very good student?
She was, yeah.
And she, at a relatively young age, got her RN and was a nurse at Mass General, correct?
Correct.
And at Mass General, she was they call it L&D, a labor and delivery nurse, is that it?
Yeah.
Do you remember how many years she worked in Mass General?
I think she started in 2014,
Do you remember when she graduated from nursing school?
6 months earlier.
And were you guys in a relationship then?
We were, yeah.
And had you started living together in Southie, or was that before that?
Not in Southie. We didn't live together in Southie. We lived together in Quincy.
Quincy. Okay. Tell us a little bit about, you know Lindsay, obviously, better than most. How did she like being a nurse?
She loved it. I think it was her dream.
Would you say that she enjoyed her work and helping people?
Definitely, yeah.
So there's been some commentary here from the government about that she was anxious because she had to go back to work, or she didn't want to go to work, she was lazy, or whatever the case may be.
Objection.
This is sustained. If you could rephrase that.
All right, so I'll strike lazy, that she didn't want to go back to work, but I believe you said in answer to the DA, there was a reason that you could see that she was anxious about going back to work, correct?
Correct.
Now, was she anxious about going back to work, to your knowledge, because she just didn't want to work?
No.
What was the reason?
She struggled to be away from our kids at a young age.
So when you guys ultimately moved to Duxbury, did you have children then?
Yeah.
And as the years went by, you obviously had more children. Ultimately, you got 3 children, correct?
Yes.
You told us about her birth with Cora, and
Yeah.
Cora, it was a bit of a rough birth, is that right?
Yeah, she didn't have time to get an epidural, and she bled a lot.
Do you, in the years that you lived with Lindsay as boyfriend and girlfriend, fiancés, and then ultimately husband and wife, do you recognize her handwriting?
I haven't seen it in a long time, but so I'm not sure.
Okay. While counsel's looking at that, is it your understanding, would she take notes or lists and
Yeah.
for work and home and things of that nature?
You would, yeah.
Excuse me. I'm going to approach you, sir, with this document, and just ask if you can recognize this. If you can recognize the handwriting.
Yeah, that looks like her handwriting.
Looks like Lindsay's handwriting?
Yep.
So I'm going to run the mayor for this.
Any objection?
Yes.
All right, if I could see counsel.
see that, Mr. Clancy?
Yeah.
Pull it away a little bit. Looking at this, what does it appear to be to you, if you know? Does it appear to be notes of deliveries that she was involved with?
Yeah.
You see the first one, what's the date, if you can read it? I can't.
It says May 11th, 2015.
And does that indicate, would that, to your knowledge, be around when she started working as a labor delivery nurse?
I thought she started a little early, but I'm not sure.
You see the name of the little girl that was born on that date that was her first delivery?
Yeah.
What's the name?
It's Cora.
And is that the reason you guys named Cora?
It was, yeah.
You tell the jurors, as a husband living with Lindsay over the years, what kind of a mother was she?
She was very dedicated. She did everything. She started reading them books at 3 months. And she made up songs for them. I remember she used to make Green Eggs and Ham for Cora because she liked that book.
Is that one of the Dr. Seuss books?
Yeah. She brought them to music classes.
You're quite the musician yourself, isn't that right?
I play a few instruments, yeah.
You play guitar?
Yep.
In your home, one of the things that appears to be striking is that almost every room, other than maybe a bed, well, actually a bedroom, but was dedicated to children. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have a fancy dining room, right?
We did not, no.
What did you have in the dining room?
We had the table that I grew up with.
How about stuff on the wall in the different rooms? Did she put things, wall hangings on the walls for the kids?
There was a lot of art projects, stickers, things like that.
And were they hanging from the wall?
Yeah.
One of the photographs that the government had was a photograph that, excuse me, you can identify first. Is this photograph a fair and accurate depiction of one of your rooms?
Yeah.
And what room would that be?
That's the playroom.
Right off of this room?
Any objection?
No.
All right, that may be admitted. Thank you.
If I may put exhibit 58 up so the jurors and the zone can see it. There's some kind of like, looks as though it's boxed out window. So are we standing in the kitchen looking into that room through that boxed out window?
Yeah.
And all those objects, obviously, that are in that room would be kids' toys and things of that nature, right?
Right.
Do you recognize this photograph as being just a sample or sampling of the kids' rooms?
Yeah.
You know which room that was?
I think it was Dawson's.
Okay, put it off of this.
Any objection?
No.
All right, that may be admitted. All right, thank you.
This one here has a bunch of stickers. It's got Bruce Lightyear, or whatever his name is, over to the right. It's got an alphabet, A, B, C, D, things of that nature, correct?
It's Paw Patrol.
Okay. And again, following through on that same theme, you recognize this photograph as well being another portion of that wall?
Yeah.
And what are those, decals?
Yeah, they're just big stickers.
Okay. In the interest of time, Your Honor, I would just say, you also identify this as being one of the kids' walls. Would that be what you were telling us would be art projects?
Yeah,
And they were hanging on the wall?
correct.
And who hung them on the wall?
I think Lindsay did.
And would she also take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures of the kids?
Yeah.
Do you recall her putting together a little collage saying newborn, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and then hanging that on the wall?
Yeah, she did it for each kid.
And which child was that?
That one's Dawson.
Did you have occasion to see her interact with Dawson as a...
Craig, did you wish to introduce those photographs?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Please do it.
Okay, thank you.
Can you describe for the jurors her relationship with Dawson? I know he was a little kid, but I mean, to your observation, did she love Dawson?
She loved Dawson very much.
Did she resent him?
No.
You are familiar with, as her husband, Lindsay's, let's say, use of social media such as Facebook, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us, would you look at her Facebook a lot and the pictures that she would post?
To be honest, no, not really.
Okay. Were you able to identify any of her postings on Facebook?
Probably.
Representative, over the years, or the period of time, I'm going to ask if you can identify this particular Facebook.
And if we may approach briefly.
Sure, yeah, Counsel.
Clancy, you know, and if I ask a question and it's difficult, or if you need a break, I'm sure that, you know, most knows, I will certainly give you a break.
Yep.
Right? Push too hard, just let me know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Appreciate it.
Okay, so again, just representative of the Facebook postings that Lindsay would post as the mother of your children. This, for example, would be July of 2018.
Yep.
Can you tell the jurors who that would be?
That's Cora.
Moving forward, say June of 2021. Can you tell us who that?
That's Cora and Dawson.
Okay. Again, the end of July 2021.
That's us with Cora and Dawson.
August 2021.
Dawson.
Okay. End of August 2021.
That's Cora and Dawson.
August again of 21.
It's Cora and Dawson.
September 1 of 21.
It's Cora and Dawson.
Is that first day of preschool?
Yeah.
September of 21.
That's Lindsay and Cora.
And was that some kind of like a family fun day, if you recall, where there was like lots of things for kids to get in?
Yeah.
The end of September of 21.
Um,
Callie?
no, that's Dawson.
Dawson, okay, September 21. Callie was born when? I'm sorry.
May 2022.
Okay. And Christmas Eve, December 24th of 2021.
That's Cora's birthday.
Okay, and that's her birthday party that year?
Yeah.
Now, that's 2021, right?
Correct.
Fast forward 1 year, and that would be December, Christmas of 2022, right?
Right.
And was that when you guys had the birthday party for Laura at the trampolines?
No.
When was that?
I believe it was January 7th.
Okay, but that would have been for that particular birthday, right?
That was for the birthday with friends because most people weren't available on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then down. Again, September 1st of 22. Remember when that was taken?
Yeah, that's with Callan and Dawson.
Was that your yard?
That's in the backyard.
Backyard, okay. This would have been September of 22, obviously right before 23, right?
Right.
And again, but this one here, July of 22, can you tell the jurors, you guys had a pretty good summer that year?
It was a good summer. Yeah, that was on Cape Cod.
This picture was on Cape Cod?
Yeah.
Couple of points that I wanted to raise, sir, with you. We have an email sent from your, is it Surface Pro, is that what it's called?
That was my laptop.
Laptop?
Yeah.
I'm going to approach you, sir, and ask if you can identify this as being an email that you sent.
Yeah.
Okay. Right off of that, Your Honor.
The objection.
I'd just like to know the purpose of.
Purpose? I'll
Yes.
tell you the purpose.
No,
Get a sidebar.
sure, yeah. Thank you. That may be admitted.
Well, while we're waiting for the copy, let me just move on to something else. Do you recall yesterday the district attorney was asking you a question or stated to you that on December 2nd of 2022, that you and your wife went to a fancy hotel in Boston and she had a massage and you both had a big dinner? Do you recall her asking you that question?
Yeah.
And in fact, would you agree, sir, that you did not, in fact, go to a fancy hotel on December 2nd of 22, being a Saturday night before your anniversary, the 3rd? You stayed at home, didn't you?
We did. We stayed at home.
And when you were asked that question by the DA, she wanted the inference to be that Lindsay Clancy in December of 22 was so relaxed that she wanted to have a massage and have a big dinner in a hotel. In fact, she was in her bedroom that night, wasn't she?
Objection.
Sustain, if you could rephrase that.
I'm approaching you with what appears to be from one of the photographs that the district attorney had showed you yesterday with her in a mask, and I believe the document in the mask, right? And then,
Yep.
now that photograph, sir, was actually preserved, if you will, on the Laptop Pro computer, is that right? Did she send that to you?
She sent it to my computer.
Okay.
I don't know.
And where was she? Do you remember when that picture was taken? Let me
I
just show you.
didn't see
Yeah. That's what the photograph was?
It looks like they're at the doctor.
At the doctor's office, okay. And can you tell me the date that that picture, right here in corner top, what date was that picture taken? Sent to your computer?
It's December 2nd.
The same date that we're talking about, correct? And what
Correct.
time was the picture sent?
12:45 p.m.
So the jury. So when you're dealing with these things on the computers, it's a little hard sometimes to understand what they're depicting, and I'm having a hard time moving it. There it is. All right. Right there, you see that there? That's the date that we're talking about, right?
Right. Just to clarify, though, it looks like that was on an iPhone.
Oh, I'm sorry, iPhone. Okay, it was sent to you, though.
Correct.
And it was on December 2nd, the date that the DA was suggesting you were in Boston having massages and dinner, right?
Objection. That was December 3rd.
All right.
It's
Well-
the jury's memory, but.
Yeah, if you can answer that.
Do you recall, sir, that she also had sent you the same day, or taken a picture of what appears to be Cora's Christmas list, wish list? Know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look at the record on that, that was sent if you can read that,
It's December 2nd at 6:13 p.m.
6:13 p.m. And then finally, if you look at the metadata that is apparently buried in the photograph, it gives latitude and longitude of where the photograph was taken. Is that right? You're familiar with metadata, I would imagine? No way I can't do this.
The tape on the thing tells you where to put the.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's our address.
Okay. And that would be the metadata with the latitude and the longitude and shows you where these photos were taken, correct?
Correct.
Enough of these, Ron?
So I think we had Exhibit 76. They're making a copy of that. Do you want to mark that? I don't know if we marked that yet. That was the earlier one, just so everybody can keep this straight. And this latest email would be Exhibit 77.
That would be the letter, the email? Yeah, the email right here. Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, sir, Exhibit 76 is an email from you to, and we will, going to delete the people that are on the email, if I may, Your Honor, as we mark it as an exhibit. Let me approach you. Does it indicate the date and the time? At the very top, you sent that email to your staff members or people that work with you.
It does, yep.
Tell the jurors what the date was.
It's January 24th at 5:24.
And that was sent from your Surface Pro?
I don't know, actually. It could have been sent from my iPhone.
Right off of this one. Sorry,
That would be Exhibit 76.
Now, when was Callan born?
May 26, 2022.
My memory serves that it was a good birth. It was not easy birth, but I mean, there were no complications.
There were no complications.
And were both of you very happy with Callan being
Yeah.
born healthy? And
Yeah, we felt very lucky.
and then in that summer of 22, you had one of the best summers that you've had, right?
Yeah.
What happened in September, October of 2022?
Lindsay's mental health started to deteriorate.
And when you say that, sir, what is it that you, as her husband, observed?
Just increased stress and anxiety.
And did she, as a result of that, go to see or reach out for help to see someone?
Yes,
And who was that?
I believe it was Jennifer Tufts.
Now, Jennifer Tufts is a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and where is she located?
I never went to her office. Somewhere on the South Shore.
Do you remember when Lindsay went to see Jennifer Tufts?
I don't remember the exact date. I think it was sometime in September. Oh, I wasn't really involved at the beginning of Jennifer Tufts.
Of course. Do you recall that the difficulties or the trouble, so to speak, began towards the end of September into October of 22?
Yeah, it was pretty gradual.
Okay. But do you remember when the DA asked you yesterday whether or not you used your computer to Google suicide in, I think it was August of 22? Do you remember her asking you that question?
Yes.
And do you remember your response?
No, honestly.
You didn't Google that, did you?
I don't think I did, no.
No. But I'm going to show you, sir, a web history of your computer. Have in mind that the question was asked of you as to whether or not in August of 22, you Googled suicide. You responded no, right?
Correct.
The inference being, I guess, that back in August of 22, she would have Googled it, apparently, right?
Sure.
You know a guy named Tim Hall?
I think you mean Tom Hall.
Yeah, Tom Hall, I apologize. Who's Tom Hall?
He's a musical artist.
He's a what artist?
Like a country artist.
Country. Is he like a guitar playing guy or singer?
Yeah, was.
When you say was, what happened to him?
He committed suicide.
And I'm going to show you, sir, your Surface Pro records back in August of 22. Do you recall Googling the name Tom Hall so you could access one of his new albums or new records?
I do remember briefly listening to Tom Hall's music.
Now, you've never seen, you haven't seen this document before, correct?
Correct.
All right, and this would be, I'm sure you're probably familiar with it. When you get a phone dump or a computer records dump. You get a printout of all the sites that somebody would go on, Google, Wikipedia, things like that.
Right.
If you can look to the right,
Yep.
down a little bit, you see, I think it says Tom Hall.
Yeah.
What does it say on Tom Hall?
It says his Wikipedia page.
You see here? So, here, we've got so that shows you when somebody Googles, and then it goes Wikipedia, and you see where up above it says suicide methods?
Yeah.
Now, you didn't, as you said to the DA, you didn't Google suicide methods, right?
I didn't Google suicide methods now.
But in fact, sir, when you Googled Tom Hall, it took you to the Wikipedia page and it said that he died, right?
He did, yeah.
And then you clicked on the Wikipedia page and it went into a hyperlink. You know what a hyperlink is? I imagine you
Yeah.
do. Hyperlink.
Yeah.
What is a hyperlink, just so I know?
So like in Wikipedia, it would be a word that's highlighted in blue and it goes to a website.
Okay. So if I suggest to you, sir, that as you move down on your searches that afternoon, that you were looking at Tom Hall, that it brought you to ways to commit suicide, Tom Hall, Google search again, Tom Hall, all on that date at the same time. And you were just looking to see about the guy because he killed himself, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right off of this one.
Any objection?
Can I just see the packet?
Oh, yeah.
Again, Your Honor, I got that discovery from the DA's office.
Well, it's an email from his
We'll just
expert,
give,
not us.
just take a look at it and we'll kind of go from there. Hold on a second.
While she's looking at that, I just asked her, what is a URL? What does that mean?
Hold on a second. Just, wait till she gets a chance to finish.
Yes, I would object.
All right, if I could see Counsel.
So while that's being marked Exhibit E for ID, basically, that would at least refresh your memory, sir, that in fact, inadvertently, that you touched the Wikipedia thing for suicide, but it was for Tom Hall, the singer, right?
Sounds like that was the case.
Okay. do you recall what medication Lindsay was put on by Dr. Tufts?
She started with Zoloft.
Now, counsel had asked you about whether or not Lindsay was on Zoloft or any SSRI antidepressant medication in the past. Do you remember that question?
Yeah.
Do you remember her asking about that you were having a conversation with her and she said that she was going on Zoloft and that she had already been to Tufts, or was it Tufts that she got the script from?
Correct.
Okay. She told you that, right?
Yeah.
She didn't hide that from you, right?
No.
And it was, you were at a wedding, is that right? You were walking down the street, the two of you together, like at the end of the night. She basically told you that she had to use the meds.
It was earlier in the day. It was before the wedding, but yeah.
Okay. And do you recall how, to your observation, how dedicated was she to taking her medications as instructed by the numerous doctors that she ultimately saw?
She always took them as instructed.
Do you remember, did she in fact have a diary that she kept of the milligrams, the type of medication, the date that she took the medication, and what, if any, reactions that she had to it? Do you recall that?
Yeah.
And do you remember where that was kept? Did she keep it in any particular place?
I think she kept it in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. So I'm going to show you a photograph that the state police took in your house. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of your kitchen?
Yeah.
So that kind of shows a bunch of books that are in like a cabinet or something, right?
Right.
I'm going to show you this enlarged spine, if you will, of a book. Can I ask if you ever saw that before?
I don't recall seeing this.
Would you agree, sir, that this book is in fact the same book, the same coloring that was in the bunch of books in your kitchen?
Yeah.
And on this book, you see what the caption of the book is.
Yeah, it says, "Good moms have scary thoughts."
And I'm going to approach you with this document, sir, which would be a number of pages from the book, the cover of the book, and the inside of the book. Just, you've never seen that before, though?
Don't recall seeing this.
So with that understanding, Your Honor, I will not offer this at this time.
Look, Counsel Como, if you could, Mr. Reddick, if you could show
not.
what it is that you got.
I'm sorry, you said you're not offering it?
Well, I don't have the foundation. Is that?
Okay.
All right. Any objection?
No.
Okay.
So can I put it in?
Yes, that's
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
No objection to him not offering it.
all right.
If
No,
I
I'm
could just
lost.
look at it, there
Yeah.
may
Well,
not.
why don't we do this? Why doesn't everybody come over here with that, and we can kind of figure out where we go?
No objection.
Okay, that may be admitted.
Who was the next doctor, if you recall, that Lindsay went to consult with?
Julie Paul.
And is this a doctor or a nurse practitioner?
I don't remember with Julie Paul. It was very brief.
Okay. Now, is it fair to say that Julie Paul was at South Shore?
Yeah, correct.
And Julie Paul was a friend of your mother's, is that right?
Yeah, I think they're acquaintances. Yeah,
And your mother was a nurse also at South Shore Hospital.
in L&D. Yeah,
L&D Labor and Delivery, same thing. Okay. And your mother was good enough to refer Lindsay to this person to consult with, right?
yeah. I don't think it was a formal referral. I think she just said this is a specialist that you might want to talk with.
All right. And did she go to see the specialist?
Yeah.
And did you go with her, or was this a?
No, I never met
Should
Julie
back
Paul.
myself up. Were these like in-person meetings, or are they like, what do you call them, Zoom meetings? And
Most of the meetings were Zoom. The only in-person that I'm aware of was with Rebecca Gelata.
Rebecca Gelata. Okay. And that was because you insisted on it, right?
I thought it was warranted at that time. Yeah.
Right, because you were pretty much at your wit's end with the 15-minute Zooms, and you wanted to sit down eyeball to eyeball and talk to this person, right?
I hadn't attended any prior to that. I just wanted to get clarification. I wanted to see if we could get on the same page.
All right. So now Lindsay's on Zoloft from Dr. Tufts, the psychiatrist, correct?
Correct.
And then that runs into when you guys, she goes to see Nurse Paul.
Can you clarify?
What was it?
Can you clarify what you're asking?
Yeah, what month? When was it that she saw Nurse Paul?
Maybe October, but I'm not sure.
Okay. When she saw Nurse Paul, do you remember where she saw Nurse Paul, or was it a video thing?
I don't know. I wasn't involved.
Okay. Did Nurse Paul prescribe medication to her?
A lot, if he knows.
I don't know off the top of my head.
All right. Do you recall whether or not, to your opinion, that she had any reactions to the Zoloft that she had been placed on by Dr. Tufts?
I don't know any observations that were made.
Right, so it's not guesswork, it's observations, anything you saw and observed.
Yeah, it seemed to align with her insomnia symptoms.
Now, the insomnia, inability to sleep, was that a significant problem from your observations with her?
Yeah, it was a huge problem.
And when you say huge problem, was there one point when she was on medication from Tufts that in fact she had gone 48 hours, I think, without sleep?
Yeah.
And that was disturbing to her?
Yeah, and it was just hard to function.
And how about you? Was it disturbing to you?
I just wanted her to get sleep and feel better.
Now, during that period of time, she then went and saw the next doctor, a nurse practitioner, which we talked about, which would be nurse practitioner Paul at South Shore, right?
Right.
Now, after seeing nurse practitioner Paul, if you remember, or no, did you observe, did she seem to get better or did she seem to get worse?
It would be hard to say. I think it was a week at most. So it's really hard to say in that short a time frame.
Sure. And when you say a week at most, you mean that's like she was seeing nurse practitioner Paul for about a week?
Yeah, and I mean, she may have only seen her once. It was very brief, and then she got reassigned somewhere, so.
And the reason, if you know, that she got reassigned somewhere would be nurse practitioner Gelata, right?
Right.
Same practice, right?
Right.
And the reason was because Paul moved on to another job, right?
Right.
So Lindsay wasn't out doctor hunting. She was referred by the nurse practitioner that was referred to you guys by your mom because Paul was leaving, right?
Yeah, she just switched doctors in the same practice.
All right. Now, she sees Dr. Gelata, right?
Right.
Did Dr. Gelata, to your knowledge, put her on medication?
Yeah.
And what was the medication, if you know?
Mainly Seroquel and benzodiazepines, Ativan.
Now, benzodiazepines, they're addictive, right?
Apparently,
Objection.
I'll allow it.
And a benzo would be, for example, Ativan, correct?
correct.
Now, Seroquel, she was placed on Seroquel as well, is that correct?
Right.
And to your observation, again, you're not a doctor, what you saw of your wife, was she affected positively or negatively by the Seroquel that she was on?
It appeared that she was affected very negatively, and she's reporting that that she was getting worse on the Seroquel.
And do you know, did she report that to Dr. Gelada?
Yeah.
When she would consult with Dr. Gelada, prior to you actually going, do you know, were they all on video? If you know.
I believe, yeah, they were all on Zoom.
Okay. Do you have any opinion for the jury as to approximately how long these meetings on Zoom would be with the nurse practitioner?
Probably around 20 minutes.
At some point, do you recall that you went with Lindsay to see Dr. Gelada? Is that right?
Yes.
And do you remember, if you remember, when that was?
Early December.
In early December of 2022, can you tell the jury from your observations, how did Lindsay appear? How was she acting? How was she faring?
She was extremely sleep deprived and just highly anxious.
Was there a number of occasions that you would actually see her on the sofa, rocking back and forth with her head under a pillow?
Yeah.
Did you report that and other symptoms to Dr. Gelada?
Lindsay did.
So when was it, if you recall, that you went and saw Dr. Gelada with your wife, person to person?
When was it?
Yep.
Early December. I think it was December 6th.
And do you remember, you have a pretty good memory about this, do you remember what medication she was prescribed by Gelada?
Coming out of that meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, she increased the Seroquel significantly, and then she prescribed her Valium to help taper off of the benzos.
Taper off the benzos?
Yeah.
To your knowledge, did Lindsay go to doctors to seek out benzodiazepines or drugs just because she was a drug addict?
No. Lindsay, I think, wanted to. She definitely didn't want to take any more benzodiazepines, and definitely didn't want to take any more Seroquel. I think that it wasn't really a matter of trying to get off the medication. It was just trying to get on the right medication.
Okay. Let's say mid-December, what observations, if any, heading up towards Christmas, did you guys endure?
She seemed to get worse. The Seroquel was increased to 400 milligrams.
400?
Yeah. And,
By Dr. Gelada?
Yeah. And the idea behind that was it would help with sleep, but she didn't get better. She got worse.
Do you recall that at one point she went to a place called Women's and Infants
Yeah.
in Rhode Island?
Right.
Women and Infants Center for Women's Behavioral Health. Do you recall that?
Right.
Do you remember when she actually went to Women's Behavioral Health?
Sometime in mid-December. I don't know the exact date.
All right. So if I suggest to you, sir, that I have certified copies of the Women and Infants medical records indicating that on December 20th of 2022, that was the day that you dropped her off at Women. Does that refresh your memory?
Yeah.
Your Honor, I'd like to offer the certified copies of the Women and Infants hospital records.
I would object. We don't have a copy of those.
All right.
You don't have these?
Could I see
So, Mr. Clancy, do you remember that day, December 20th of 2022, that she
Yeah.
went to that place? How did she get there?
I drove her.
And do you remember dropping her off?
Yeah.
Do you remember what her state of mind was to go there? Was she scared? Was she happy? Was she?
I think she was scared.
Do you remember what you did that day?
I took Dawson skiing.
And where did you go skiing?
Wachusett.
At some point in the afternoon, did you receive a phone call?
Yeah.
Was it from Lindsay?
Yeah.
And as a result of the phone call, what did you do?
She said that you need to come pick me up, and the doctors here want to talk to you, have you come in and talk for a bit.
Okay. Did you go and talk to him?
Yeah.
Do you remember who you talked to?
I don't remember their names.
Do you remember the conversation? Did you describe or indicate what her symptoms were at that point in December 20th of 2022?
Yeah, the conversation was they didn't.
Objection.
Yes.
Sustained at this time.
Did the people at Women's and Infants Facility in Rhode Island prescribe any medication to your knowledge?
I don't think so.
They provide any counseling or anything?
I think they tried to, but they felt that it wasn't the right fit for Lindsay.
Do you recall that in fact it was because of the drugs, they weren't sure what symptomology would be because of the drugs?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you recall whether or not the people at Women and Infants in Rhode Island reached out to Dr. Gelada?
Objection.
I don't think so.
If he knows.
I don't think they did, no.
And was it one day or half a day that she went to Women and Infants in Rhode Island?
It was a half a day.
Half a day. So after you pick her up and you bring her home, it's now you and the kids and Lindsay, and it's days before Christmas, right?
Yeah, and her parents were there.
Why were her parents there?
They were visiting, trying to help out, and I took Dawson to Wachusett, so they stayed home with Cora and Kellen.
Now, during that time frame in December of 22, maybe a little bit before, maybe after Thanksgiving, did your mom and dad and Lindsay's parents come to your house and try to help out with the kids?
Yeah, I think it was separately, though.
Yeah, of course, it would be separate. I mean, what would they do?
Just be there, help out, play with them, to get takeout, play Scrabble.
Did Lindsay's mother and father actually stay there and sleep in the basement for
They did, yeah.
time? Were you aware personally, let me back up, you and Lindsay as husband and wife would in effect sleep in the same bedroom, is that correct?
Yeah.
There was an occasion though that she said to you about you go downstairs and then I think she ended up downstairs?
Yeah, for the purposes of her getting better sleep.
And for her purposes of getting better sleep, were you aware that on one occasion she used a gummy, a sleep aid gummy? Did you know that?
I don't recall that, but we did have them in the house. so-
Okay. Now, to your knowledge, was Lindsay a person that liked to smoke the weed and use the CBDs oils and all that stuff, or did she not imbibe in
I
that?
don't know. She didn't smoke.
So you had these gummies in the house, sleep aid, right?
I mean, some people might call them a sleep aid.
Okay. Heading into the holidays of 22, do you recall where you spent Christmas?
I think it was at our house. We celebrated Cora's birthday. And then I think we actually went down to Wallingford, Connecticut to be with her parents after.
Her parents?
Yeah.
Okay. And then heading into January of 23, who did she then see for doctors or nurse practitioners, if you know?
After she got back from McLean,
Yes.
she switched back to Jennifer Tufts.
Now, before she switches back to Tufts in January, on New Year's of 2022, 2023, you guys drive to Boston go to MGH, and ultimately she turns herself into McLean Hospital, right?
Right.
Now, McLean Hospital is basically a locked ward facility, correct?
Correct.
Was she allowed to just wander around and leave the place whenever she wanted?
She couldn't leave, but
Couldn't leave.
inside she could go to different areas.
Can you tell the jury what her state of mind was as she went to McLean Hospital with her husband on New Year's 23 at that point?
She was scared. She didn't want to go, but I think it was the second time we went to the ER, and I said, "You have to go."
Now, at McLean Hospital, I know you visited with her, is that correct?
Yeah.
District Attorney asked you yesterday about the excellent care that she was provided with all these counselors and therapists, and you indicated that it was your understanding that she was playing with clay and coloring, right?
Right.
Can you describe for the jury what McLean was like to you as a husband visiting his wife? In other words, were there doctors, were there nurses, were there people in the hallways?
What I saw was it looked like mainly nurses. It was the tail end of COVID, so they're mostly behind this plastic covered area. And it could have been just the time of day that I visited, but people were hanging around, watching TV, playing with clay.
Do you know whether or not she saw a doctor, psychiatrist, ultimately from McLean Hospital?
I was not aware of that. The only one I was aware of it was the doctor on the second to last or final day.
And what was that, Dr. Goodhart?
Yeah.
And did you speak to Dr. Goodhart?
I ended up calling her.
Let's call
I wanted to see what her evaluation was. And so I gave her a call, and we spoke, and she said, you know, she's clearly depressed.
Sustained.
Okay. So you spoke to Dr. Goodhart.
Yeah.
Did Dr. Goodhart, to your knowledge, prescribe any medication?
I think she recommended medication, and then
How many medications did she recommend?
I don't know if she recommended multiple. I want to say it was Cymbalta, but she said, you know, check with your doctor and make a decision.
So when Lindsay left, it was because she wanted to leave one day early because of Cora's birthday. Is that right?
I didn't think it was. I don't think it was one day early. I think she had a 5-day stay, which at the time was my understanding was that was pretty standard. And yeah, she did want to attend Cora's birthday.
So there's no doubt, sir, in your mind that when she was discharged from McLean, that, you got these, right? McLean?
Yes.
Yeah. That when she was discharged from McLean Hospital, it was not against medical advice. The doctors gave her a bill of health and let her go with you, right?
Right.
And offer the McLean records.
Any objection?
No.
All right, they may be admitted.
Now, you know when you go to the hospital and you get out of the hospital, they give you a bag and you've got medications and a little card and it says, thank you for being here, stuff like that. Did you guys get anything from McLean at all?
I don't think so.
Did you get any recommendations other than the doctor suggesting that you might want to try Cymbalta? Did they give you a script?
I don't think so.
You know what Cymbalta was?
No.
You remember Dr. Goodhart telling Lindsay to Google it?
I think that's accurate.
Yeah. In fact, she Googled hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Medication, right?
Yeah.
So when you guys go home, and now it's January, obviously, you had the party for Cora, correct?
Yeah.
You guys had friends over, or friends that you guys knew?
Friends came to the party, which was at a place in Plymouth.
Would you agree with me that Lindsay had a number of friends from actually grammar school through high school through college that she stayed in touch with over the years?
Yeah.
And you as well?
Yep.
And they're good friends, like you still would see them and you guys would do dinner and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
Actually, one of your friends, I think it was one of your friends, it might have been one of her friends, actually named her in January or around that time frame to be godmother or take care of their child if anything bad happened to them and they were dead, right? Remember that?
My brain has been foggy for the last couple
Okay.
of years, but
I understand.
yeah.
Okay. In January, as time went by, do you recall that she would actually continue to take notes of her medications that she was taking, right?
That sounds like something Lindsay would do.
Kept a diary or a little log, right?
Yep.
I'm approaching you, sir, with this and asking if you can identify this. Handwriting.
Yes.
And when you say yes, and I'll put it on the little screen, what is it?
It's the dosage of medication that she took and how she's feeling.
So this is kind of like a little medical diary that she was keeping.
Yeah.
For example, here you see on that 5 milligrams Valium, 200 Seroquel, slept well, horrible thoughts in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And did she at some point, I think the DA had asked you, I'm going to offer this, Your Honor, if I may.
Any objection?
No.
That may be admitted.
Thank you. There was an occasion where she told you, in the presence of her mother, that she was having horrible thoughts, right?
Right.
And you told us about that yesterday. And it was quite an emotional thing for her to do that, right?
Right.
After that time frame, you continued on. You were working in the basement, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say basement, it was a finished place, right?
Finished basement, yeah.
And that was where you worked on a regular basis, is that right?
Yeah.
Would that be a 40-hour week or longer?
It varied, but yeah, roughly 40 hours.
And I know it was maybe COVID, tail end of COVID, but one of the other reasons that you did that was so you could be home and help out. Is that right?
Yeah, I worked from home since 2018.
Okay.
But yeah, I built an office down there.
So you were always there?
Yeah.
Not always, but you were down there when you would work?
When I wasn't traveling, yeah, I was there.
Okay. So when would you travel? Tell us about that.
I really didn't travel actually much during COVID, just towards the end and once in November.
November of what year?
2022.
November of 2022.
But before that, I traveled extensively.
But let's look at November of 2022. November of 2022 is a month before she was telling you and her mother that she was having thoughts about hurting the children, right?
Right.
It's November of 2022, and you traveled. Where did you travel to?
New York.
And how long were you there, sir?
2 nights.
And who took care of the kids?
Lindsay.
Sorry?
Lindsay took care of the kids.
Lindsay. So for 2 days, 2 nights, a month and a week or so before she killed the children, she was home with the kids for 2 days. Is that right?
Right.
Fair to say that you also had your friends that you would do brunch with on occasion, Sundays or weeknights or whenever, guys night type thing?
Yep.
And you'd be out with your friends. If she wanted to kill the kids, she certainly could have done it that time when you're out, right?
In theory.
As opposed to sending you on a 3-minute trip to CVS and a 9-minute trip to a restaurant, you were away for 2 days in November and on a number of occasions for brunch as well as skiing, right? You're a pretty active guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to approach you, sir, and one of the books that was in the kitchen cabinet, I believe. You remember, if you ever saw this one?
I don't think so.
But is it fair to say, sir, that she had a number of books, about parenting and things like that? And this one here was pregnancy and postpartum anxiety workbook. Did she have workbooks that you were aware of? Or work diagrams and things like that?
She had books of different sorts.
you can't identify this as being in the kitchen, right?
I don't recall seeing that book. No.
Am I
Yeah.
his ID?
Sure.
Thank you. By the way, I'll withdraw that. I'm going to approach you, sir, with this document. Excuse me. And ask if you can identify it.
It says postpartum depression and anxiety patient information sheet.
And if you go towards the end there, does it appear to be her writing in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cut off this one.
No objection.
All right, that may be admitted.
Yeah. Understand. Now, sir, I'm looking at this item. It's got a bunch of flowers on the front. Appears to be a notebook. So your understanding that the state police went in your house and they seized all sorts of items such as this?
Yep.
So we don't have originals, the police do, but these are
Right.
copies. Fair and accurate?
Yeah.
Is that the caption that you were referring to?
Yes.
Postpartum depression and anxiety.
Yes.
And at the end of this particular document, you would agree, sir, that it has writing?
Yeah.
And whose writing is that?
Lindsay's.
And is this like a book or notes that she would take documenting on a daily basis any effect that she had from postpartum?
It appears to be the case.
Yeah. Your Honor, I would offer the records of Dr. Jennifer Tufts, Astor Mental Health Records.
No
Cool.
objection.
All right, that may be, they may be admitted.
I'm going to have to, I think, maybe talk to the DA about this, because I do have a lot of tabs and notes in this one. I know we have clean copies, right?
We have a clean copy we were planning to admit,
All right.
so that's
Good.
not a problem.
Okay.
So we'll enter that, and then before, we can then substitute it with a clean copy.
Thank you.
John, can I see the exhibit for the? Oh. One of the things that you had identified yesterday was the document that you obtained from CVS, is that correct?
Yes.
It sets forth all of the medications that were purchased by Lindsay, by prescription from the physicians that she had seen during that period of time, correct?
Correct.
And you indicated yesterday that the police had seized a number of pill bottles, and then you also had a number of pill bottles, is that right?
Right.
And the pill bottles that you had, do you recall, what are the circumstances that you had them in a bag in your car?
The reason I had them in a bag is because sometimes a provider would adjust medications. So, for example, I do remember Lindsay had a prescription of Ativan, and then a few days later they wanted to increase the dosage because it wasn't effective. So what they would do is they would say, give that old prescription to your husband, he'll discard it, and then continue taking from the new prescription.
When the DA yesterday went through that there were scripts and there were pills on the 30 count, but then there's 27 and 3 were gone, but that's because she wasn't taking her medication. That's not the case. It's what you were told to do, right?
Correct. Yeah. Without that context, it paints a different picture.
Exhibit 2 would be the pills that you had turned in, I believe. Is that correct? That were in your bag, in your car?
Right.
I know you can't tell from looking at the bag.
I remembered it's Exhibit 2 though.
Okay. Wednesday, January 24th, one of the troopers located 4 medication bottles, and at some point on the 26th, at about 2:30 in the afternoon, bottles were then documented by the police. When was it, if you know, that you turned these items in to the police?
I believe it was after the event. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember I told them I do have other prescriptions in my truck still, and I gave them to him.
Okay. So the police already went in with a search warrant. They already seized all the drugs that they could find in the house, in the kitchen, in the bedroom. Were there drugs in the kitchen, by the way?
Yeah.
They're all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And they seized them, right?
Yeah.
And then you, to be cooperative, told the police that you also had pills in your car, and you went to the DA's office and gave them to Attorney Sprague and the state police, right?
Right. But to be clear, those were discontinued prescriptions.
These are the ones like that she stopped.
Correct.
All right. And then you had new prescriptions, so there were new prescriptions that were prescribed to her, right?
Yes.
Now, when I met with you in the house, long after the state police had gone and finished their search, you recall that we went up to the bedroom and I removed this from the nightstand right next to the bed.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that is? What is this? Is it a drawer, obviously?
That's the drawer that goes into the nightstand.
And inside the drawer, sir, do you recall that there were a number of items that I see, trazodone, Lindsay Clancy, prescribed on January 5, 23. Creatinine, January. Creatinine, 100 milligrams, prescribed for Lindsay Clancy, December 21st. Lorazepam, they're all empty too, right?
Yeah.
Because these are what she shot down with that lemonade or water or whatever was in the cup that she ground up these pills, right? Lamotrigine, prescribed to Lindsay Clancy, December 16th, 22. Mirtazapine, prescribed to Lindsay Clancy, January 23. Those are in this drawer, and they were all empty, right?
Right.
You observed that, right? There's something else that was in the drawer. Do you recognize that?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's her Apple Watch.
Her Apple Watch. This is the Apple Watch that apparently the police used to go up the stairs, downstairs, heart rate, things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
They never even seized it, did they? They left it in the drawer, right?
Apparently.
So, what is this item, sir? If you can identify that for us.
It's a face mask for sleeping.
To sleep?
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned something, I think, about pillow spray. What is that?
She bought some pillow spray. It apparently helps you sleep.
And did you see her using that on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, she did.
Your Honor, I would offer Rob.
I could just see,
Yeah,
I think you.
and I think there's a watch on the side there. Oh.
No objection.
Okay. Do you want to put that in as one exhibit? Okay.
In reference to the Apple Watch, sir, how many Apple Watches did she have? If you
Just
know?
one.
Just one. It's the only one she had. Police never seized it, right?
Correct.
And the drugs that were in the drawer, the empty drugs and the pill bottles from January and December 22, 23. The police never seized them, did they?
No.
I'm showing you an item, sir. It's like a little green vase. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah.
Can you tell the jury what it is?
Objection. We could go to sidebar.
Yeah, okay, see, Council sidebar, please.
To your knowledge, sir, was she advised by nurse practitioner Tufts to keep a nighttime dump diary of all of her thoughts and write them down so that she had something that she could refer to?
Not that I'm aware of.
You ever see her writing notes in a diary or like a thing with dates on it, November 23rd, for example, things of that nature?
I knew she kept notes, but I didn't see her doing it.
I'm going to show you this document. Item ask that appears to be her handwriting.
Yeah.
And does that contain indication as to her state of mind, particular date or dates thereafter?
Yeah.
Just take a look at the other pages just to make sure that you all understand, right?
Yeah.
You want to write it off of this?
Como?
Please.
And I got it from the state police, so it's, assume you guys have it.
No objection.
Okay, that may be admitted.
I'm going to show you another document, sir. It appears to be a document. Do you recognize her handwriting? That document, the dates, September 29th through January 22.
Yes.
And does that appear to, can you tell us what that appears to be, sir, if you know?
Looks like a schedule for Callan.
And the schedule for Callan, that would be, what, like when he's eating or sleeping or something like that?
Yeah, naps. Yeah.
So for example, where it says September 29th, there it is, 22, and then it makes reference to Callan, last fed with a time frame, and then there's a bunch of pages like that that go forward on those dates. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Put him down for a nap, 9:35 with a smiley face, things like that, right?
Right.
Is this typical for Lindsay that she would document these things as a new mother?
Yeah.
Was she being controlling, in your opinion, of her child and of you by doing this schedule?
No, I found it helpful.
For this, Your Honor, I don't think there's any.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, that may be admitted.
One of the things, sir, that the district attorney had asked you about is the exhibits of the, I think it was the window in the bedroom. You said it was 20 feet drop to the ground.
Right.
Is that right? This is a photograph of the same one you already introduced, but I just don't know where it is. So this is the photograph of the house. You can identify that, right?
Yeah, that's the living room window.
Okay. And the window that you're talking about that's 20 feet up would be on the very top of that picture, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you identified this picture, I can't see it. You see that there's some kind of an orange ball, appears to be an orange ball underneath the sill
Yeah.
to the left. And it appears to be red marks or red spots, like possibly blood above it.
Yep.
Can you tell the jurors what that little orange ball is?
Yeah, we had a woodpecker who would peck at the house and create holes. That's why I paired some of the other sections too. And I took some foam and filled the hole.
I'd offer that, Your Honor, just out of continuity.
No
All
objection.
right, that may be admitted.
And I'd also, if I may, just the top picture, I believe is also, see where it looks like fingerprints or blood on the edge of the window on the second floor, you see that? That's from the house?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Attorney Reddy.
Yeah. Okay, so, okay, I'm talking about the Hornet thing right here. And then this is, I see on this top here, okay. So you see on the top of this window here, it's not a very good picture. Underneath the Hornet thing, you can see it, but in the exhibit, you can see there's like blood drops or blood smears there.
Yeah. I
That's
see it.
the first floor window that's directly underneath the second floor window, right?
Right.
Okay. I'd offer these, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No.
They may be admitted.
I'm all set, thank you, sir.
Commonwealth, redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Clancy, you were shown an email, and it's been marked as an exhibit that you sent to coworkers on January 24th, 2023 at 5:24 p.m., correct?
Yeah.
And you were asked about it coming from the Surface Pro, but your testimony was that it could have come from your iPhone, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, you watched footage earlier of yourself going into the CVS in Kingston at 5:32 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And you had your phone with you, correct, because you used it? And we also saw you on the 3V footage using your phone as well, correct?
Right.
So you were clearly out of the house at 5:24 p.m., correct?
Sorry, what time did you say I was at CVS?
So you walked in at 5:32 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And you left the house. As you were leaving the house, Lindsay sent you the text about PDLX, correct?
I don't know if I had left the house yet, but yeah,
But that was sent at 5:15 p.m., correct?
right.
And how far away is the Kingston CVS?
3 minutes.
Okay. And so you leave the house, you get into your car, and you drive to CVS, correct?
Correct.
And so that should have taken 3 minutes, correct?
Yep.
So after the text that was sent at 5:15 p.m., that would have been sometime around 5:18 or 5:20 p.m. that you should have arrived at CVS, correct?
Right.
But you don't go in until 5:32 p.m., correct?
I don't know.
We could
I
pull
don't
up-
know what time I pulled in the parking lot.
I'm not asking what time you pulled into the parking lot, but is it fair to say that the video that you were shown earlier shows you entering the store at 5:32 p.m.?
Yes.
So from the time you should have been at the parking lot of CVS around 5:20 p.m. until 5:32 p.m., could you have been in your car sending this email on your iPhone?
Yeah, I just don't know if I pulled into the parking lot at 5:20.
But sometime after the text was sent from Lindsay about PDLX, but before 5:32 p.m., you were in your car.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you were asked about my questions to you about going to Boston, and my questions to you were about December 3rd, not December 2nd, correct?
Correct.
Because your anniversary is December 3rd, not December 2nd, correct?
Right.
So Dawson was taken to the doctors on December 2nd, correct?
Correct.
And on December 3rd, did you have plans? Not that they were followed through, but did you have plans to go to Boston that day?
Yeah, so I can provide some clarification on that.
Sure.
So yeah, on Monday I was a little bit confused by it because we were home. But yeah, I think there was a plan prior to that, like an anniversary plan to go to Boston, but it was canceled.
Okay.
And the picture you showed was from September.
So the plans that you had to go to Boston, showing you here. Some text messages between yourself and Lindsay. And here, there's one here that says, the spa, the Omni is booked, but you're on the wait list. As a backup, I have you booked for massage at the nearby IHG for 90 minutes at 1:45. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then you later say we can get lunch and then head over. She responds, okay. And then you write that they'll let you use the gym and the pool while she's getting her massage. Is that correct?
Right.
And then you talk about plans for lunch and dinner. And so there were the plans, they just fell through, right?
Yeah, we canceled them. Yeah.
So it's not as if I made that up out of thin air. That's here in the text messages, correct?
Right. Yeah. It was just confusing because we were home. But yeah, when I left, I recollected that, and then I found the picture, and the picture was from September.
And was that from the wedding you went to?
Yeah.
If we could have the text messages marked as the next specific.
Any objection? All right, that may be admitted.
87. Now, in cross-examination, you said that Lindsay always took the medications exactly as instructed. But in direct, you said you weren't always with her every time she took the pills. Is that correct?
That's correct. But the understanding was that she took it as directed.
Because she told you she did?
Yeah,
And because you trusted her to do so?
yeah.
Okay. But you can't sit here and say definitively that she took every pill exactly as instructed every single time because you didn't watch her every time, correct?
I was not standing next to her every time she took pills.
And you were asked about the Facebook search in August 23rd, 2022. And you were asked about being on the Surface Pro and looking up the country singer who had
Yeah.
killed himself. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So I think that what you said when you were asked by defense counsel about whether or not you accidentally went to this site on methods of suicide, you said that could be likely, that might have happened. You're not sure, correct?
It's so subtle that I don't remember specifically, but I do remember listening to Tom T. Hall.
How often did you listen to him?
It was like for a week.
Okay. And so were you aware that on 8/23, August 23rd, 2022, at 9:40 a.m., someone signed into Lindsay's Facebook account on the Surface Pro?
No.
And then at 9:43 p.m. is when the Tom Hall site was accessed. Do you recall that?
No.
And at 9:45 a.m. is when a person not just hit a link by accident, but actually had to click on a link to go to suicide methods. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. Is there any reason why you would have been going in and logging on to Lindsay's Facebook account while going on Wikipedia and looking at suicide methods all in that same 5 minutes?
I didn't log into Lindsay's Facebook ever. It's very possible that I looked at Tom Hall's Wikipedia page, but
At some point?
yeah.
Do you remember spending 3 minutes on the Methods of Suicide site, scrolling through and reading the Methods of Suicide site for 3 minutes?
No, I don't remember something I did for 3 minutes almost 4 years ago.
Do you remember being on that site, the Methods of Suicide, and clicking on a link to a bridge in Australia that people use to commit suicide?
No.
No. So in this 5 minutes or so where someone's using the Surface Pro, using Lindsay's Facebook while doing that, and then clicking on these links you don't remember, you think it might have been you?
I have no idea.
Now, you talked about Lindsay's stay at McLean Hospital. You said that it was a locked ward, she had to stay there, is that correct?
Correct.
But it was a voluntary commitment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You didn't file any legal paperwork to have her committed, correct?
Correct.
There was no court order making her stay there, correct?
Correct.
So if she wanted to leave and expressed to the doctors that she wanted to leave, and they didn't believe she was a danger to herself or others, she could leave, correct?
To be honest, I don't know.
Okay. Now, you stated on direct examination that you visited her 2 times during the time that she was there at McLean, right?
At least twice, yeah.
And you said those were in the evening hours, is that correct?
Yeah, afternoon, evening.
Afternoon and evening. So you weren't there during the morning and early afternoon hours when they were offering these group therapies and when she was meeting with other practitioners?
I wasn't there in the morning.
And were you there during the, when the staff was checking on her every 15 minutes?
No, but she did tell me about that.
Okay. And were you aware that she was evaluated several times and at first she had to stay on the unit, but then eventually based on what she was telling them, she was allowed to go on the grounds with staff?
I was aware that she went on at least one walk.
Okay. And so people were seeing her and interacting with her and changing the way her stay went at McLean Hospital throughout her stay.
Yeah.
And you talked about Dr. Goodhart recommending medications. What was the medication that you said that she recommended?
I thought it was Cymbalta, but I think she ended up taking amitriptyline.
So looking here at the CVS records that you provided. We see, I'm sorry, here we go. So we see here, here we go. Aaliyah Goodhart, second from the bottom,
Yep.
trazodone, 50 milligrams. So you thought that Dr. Goodhart had just recommended medication when there was actually a prescription that was given by Dr. Goodhart, correct?
Right, but I believe, so there's another one as well, lorazepam. I believe those were prescribed while she was staying there.
And so they were filled at CVS and sent to McLean?
Possibly. I remember there was an issue where she didn't have her medications when she went to McLean, so she needed them to be brought there.
She was discharged on January 5th, correct?
Right.
Are you aware that this document from CVS says that the prescription for trazodone 50 milligrams prescribed by Dr. Aaliyah Goodhart was filled on January 5th, 2023?
Right.
Okay. And then the other prescription by Dr. Goodhart, the lorazepam, was also 1 milligram lorazepam was also filled on January 5th, 2023, correct?
Yeah.
So that's when she was discharged, not while she was staying there, correct?
Right, that's correct.
So Dr. Goodhart did in fact prescribe medication for Lindsay, trazodone and Ativan, and not Cymbalta, correct?
She recommended Cymbalta, but she wasn't the one who prescribed that.
In fact, no one prescribed that, correct?
Because it ended up switching to amitriptyline.
And the amitriptyline was prescribed by Dr. Jennifer Tuss, correct?
Right.
And Dr. Tufts prescribed 5 milligrams of diazepam on January 9th, 2023, correct?
Right.
And amitriptyline on January 16th. It was 10 milligrams of amitriptyline. And that was prescribed when Lindsay said she was having some issues with depression, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So she went to McLean Hospital and she was weaned off the Seroquel, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
And all the medications that she had taken prior to going to McLean, she was no longer on, those were gone, correct? Once she'd been in McLean.
I don't know if it was, I'm not sure. I don't know if it was all of them.
Well, did you have conversations with your wife about what she was taking? I mean, were you aware that she was only on, only prescribed trazodone and Ativan when she left McLean, and then amitriptyline was only added on the 16th? So just those 3 medications?
Yeah, but I thought she was taking trazodone before McLean.
Right, so she had been prescribed it before and stopped taking it, correct?
I don't remember. I'd have to look back on records.
So you're not sure about what she was taking and when, are you?
Not the exact dates, but I remember she was taking trazodone, and I thought she was taking it before McLean.
So the best resource of what she was prescribed and when would most likely be the doctors and the CVS records then, correct?
The CVS records is a good resource.
And you talked about the pills and how these were pills that she was no longer on, so it wasn't really a good representation of what she had taken, correct?
Correct.
But she was only prescribed Zoloft once, right? At the very beginning?
Right.
And she only took 7 of those pills, correct?
Right.
So it wasn't as if she was prescribed a higher dose or a different dose of Zoloft and was still taking that, and so that 7 pills misrepresents the Zoloft she took, right?
I believe she switched because, or she stopped because she was switched to Prozac.
Okay. And then even going forward, the Prozac, there weren't many pills taken out of that either, correct?
Yeah, eventually she stopped that as well.
Okay. So she'd take a few pills, she'd have some side effects, they'd switch the medication, correct?
Yes.
And so they were trying to figure out what would work for her, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she ends up at McLean because she's having difficulties, according to her, with the Seroquel, correct?
That was part of it, yeah.
And they wean her off of that, right?
Yep.
And then after McLean, she's only on the trazodone, the Ativan, and then on the 16th, adding in the amitriptyline, correct?
Right.
You mentioned that you went to New York in November of 2022. Defense counsel said that was a month before the children were killed, but that's actually 2 months before they were killed, correct?
It was, yeah, it was about a little more than 2 months.
And she hadn't been on the Seroquel yet, right?
I don't know exactly when she started the Seroquel.
Would December sound right?
Yeah, or end of November, yeah.
And so when you took your trip to New York, she was having some issues, but she was doing okay, wasn't she?
She was doing much better than she was in December.
Okay. And did you also take another trip with Cora in November?
Yeah, so I did the trip to New York, and as soon as I got back, went to bed, and then the next morning left with Cora.
And was that November 4th through the 7th to San Francisco?
Yeah.
And who was taking care of Dawson and Callan while you were in San Francisco with Cora?
Lindsay.
And so during your trip to New York, and then immediately after your trip to San Francisco with Cora, were there any issues or any problems, or did anything happen while Lindsay was caring for those kids?
Nothing bad happened. She was, I would say her anxiety and depression was starting to tick up, but yeah, obviously nothing bad happened.
Okay. And it's your testimony that things started to get worse in December. Is that correct?
Correct.
But it was also your testimony that after the stay at McLean, things got better, wasn't it? And she steadily progressed throughout January, getting better, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And on January 24th, 2023, you testified that that was one of her best days.
Yeah.
You were asked about the Apple Watch. The police didn't collect the Apple Watch, right? They did collect her phone, correct? You identified it earlier, right?
Correct, yeah.
And her Apple Watch was linked to her phone, was it not?
It probably was, yeah.
You were also asked about the drop from the second floor window. Were you aware that the measurement from the windowsill to the ground was actually 12 feet?
I've never measured it, but yeah, I believe what you're saying.
And looking for one of the exhibits from defense counsel. It's the, yes. Exhibit 84, this was the packet here that defense counsel was going through with you, where you said this is Lindsay writing Callan's schedule, is that right?
Right.
But this was also Lindsay sending notes back and forth between herself and Elaine, is that correct?
Possibly.
And there's different writing here, correct? You want to look at it?
Yeah.
For example, this first page after the cover, we have writing here that you said was Lindsay's, correct?
It looks like it, yeah.
And then down here, there's a note that's in different handwriting, correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
So were you aware that Lindsay was using this notebook to communicate back and forth with the nanny about Callan's care?
She had different notebooks. She always had a notebook that she would leave for the babysitter, or for me.
And so, for example, on Tuesday, September 4th, she wrote, last fed at 6 a.m., give him a bottle whenever he wakes up. He likes it very warm. He's been resisting the bottle. If he won't drink it, after 45 minutes of trying, please text me to let me know. Put down for next nap 1 hour after he wakes. Try to put down drowsy but awake. But if he cries, pick him up and rock, bounce, or hold him until sleep, then put down. He usually sleeps 45 minutes, but let him sleep as long as he wants. These are very detailed notes that Lindsay is sending to the nanny, correct?
Yeah.
And then she also wrote, if you have time, wash and cut up veggies, sweet potatoes, 1-inch cubes peeled. Broccoli, small pieces. Peppers, 1-inch pieces. Plastic Ziploc bags to put them in. Next bottle, 2.5 hours after the first bottle, correct?
I believe what you're reading, yeah.
So very particular about what she wanted the nanny to do, how she wanted her to do it, and when to feed Callan, when to put him down for a nap, all of those things. Very particular, correct?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Again, Thursday, September 29th, 2022. Callan last fed at 8:45. Please put him down for a nap at 9:35. We will be home from gymnastics at 11:45. Clean clothes and dryer if you get to it. So again, very specific times for putting him down and when to get up and asking her to do additional work like laundry and things like that, correct?
Yeah.
Again, October 6th, 8 at 8:15, fell asleep at 8:40. Changing tables now in the bathroom. If he wakes before 9:40, give him 15 minutes to settle himself back to sleep. I'm hoping he will sleep till 10:15. If he is still asleep at 10:40, wake him. Feeding at 11 a.m. First try bottle. If he doesn't take it after 15 minutes, make oatmeal. 2 tablespoons of oatmeal. Make thin with breast milk. Can heat for 5 to 10 seconds. Again, very specific directions on what she wants done and how she wants Callan cared for, correct?
Yeah.
And throughout this notebook, it's more of the same, correct? Or have you even seen that?
I haven't seen it, yeah.
I have nothing further, thank you.
So which nanny was that?
That would have been Elaine Rossi.
And Elaine Rossi, how long was she the nanny for you guys?
A month or two, yeah, probably 2 months.
And then she just needed more hours and moved on, and Lindsay was home, so.
Yeah, I think she preferred more hours. We couldn't really give it to her, and Lindsay was home anyways, so.
And as far as the records are concerned, it's fair to say that Lindsay, as a concerned mother, would give instructions to people that would be taking care of her infant?
Yeah, I would have done the same.
A lot of discussion about these prescriptions and scripts from the different doctors, and one of the things you referenced was that you believe that she was on trazodone, and if I suggest to you that there was a Dr. Izad Parayarara Kavon on November 16th of 22 that prescribed 50 milligrams of trazodone while she was on buspirone and fluoxetine. Does that refresh your memory that in November she was prescribed 50 grams of trazodone?
Yeah, I remember trazodone being like a part of the medication plan for a while.
And one of the things that you did, as we talked about, is you went to CVS and you got a list of all the drugs, right?
Right.
And if I suggest to you, sir, that this is just an easy reference with different colors for different doctors of exactly what the CVS provided, does that appear to be fair and accurate of the scripts that were
Yeah.
provided?
Yeah.
Can I see which one that is, please? No objection.
Okay, that may be admitted.
That's all I have, sir, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down. Thank you. Counsel, could I see you it's been a long day for everyone, so we're going to excuse you till tomorrow morning. The hope is we'll start about 9. And kind of the same thing. We'll go to hopefully about 11, take a break at 11. We'll have a break from 1 to 2, and we'll go into the afternoon around 3 or 4. All right? So that's the thing. Remember, I'm going to ask you those questions about not talking about the case, not doing any research about it, don't watch anything about it. You have to keep an open mind. At this point, you've heard some evidence, but you haven't heard all the evidence. You haven't heard the law that you are to apply to the evidence. So you've got to, at this point, you've got to keep struggling in a sense, keep that open mind. So I'm going to excuse you. I hope you have a nice evening. We'll come back here tomorrow morning. If I forget to tell you, tomorrow, Friday, we're still on schedule to take that view, and then we'll deal with the schedule when we come in tomorrow. But that's, as best I can tell you, that's the schedule for tomorrow. So again, thank you so much for all your work on this case so far. I hope you have a nice evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Court, all rise. Good. Go to no vote. Please, Madam Chair, please.
All right. And so we'll be in recess on this matter till tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.